Greetings everyone, welcome aboard. My name is Joseph James. It's November 16th, 2010. We're now more than halfway through the month of November, getting closer and closer to the end of the year, guys. This is the best time of the year to be trading right now, and today did not let us down. Happy Tuesday to you guys. Here's our live trading recap. Had a great day in the room today. If you're watching this video right now on the blog, okay, if you're on the blog right now watching this video, right above me here, there's a bunch of great resources. You've got the beginner's training, right? Lots of beginner's questions there. You've got trade room resources. Almost every question you could imagine in live trade room is answered in trade room resources. And then don't forget, we record all the webinars and we post the webinars right above me too, right under live webinars. Don't forget too, right below me, right below this video, you'll see the search box, right? Search for different topics you guys might have questions about. You can, of course, contact our live support team, always standing by to help you guys out. YouTube, Facebook, and then below me all the way down, guys, on the lower right hand corner here, you'll see the follow me button. Very important you guys follow this blog. That way you get all the instant updates whenever an article is posted, a new video is posted, and of course, right, anytime we put a live trade call. Now, I also was made aware too that the video from yesterday was cut short. I apologize about that, guys. If you watched the video yesterday, I just was notified from a client of ours that the video was cut short about 10 minutes. I apologize about that, guys. If you ever have a problem watching the video, just simply email us, sales@schooloftrade.com or support@schooloftrade.com, and we'll give you guys some more feedback as far as where you can find that video. But I did recognize, though, that video was cut short from yesterday, so I apologize about that. Usually we have the whole video there, but for some reason it got cut off. I'm going to repost it. If you guys want to go back in time and watch yesterday's video, it'll be reposted here later on this evening. Alright guys, so look for that reposted video from yesterday if you want to watch the rest of that video that was cut off. Alright guys, as you can see here, blog has lots of resources, but let's see how we did today. Okay, if you weren't here this morning, if you didn't see this with your own two eyes, you're probably thinking to yourself, come on Joe, did you really do 364 ticks today? Well, it was a little bit of a challenging start, as you guys can see here, right? Light green means the smaller winners. But then look at how we did here, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17 trades today. Now, I had a client of mine this morning ask, did we overtrade this? Was this overtrading? Well, remember guys, we tried to slow down the trading at about 10:45, but the gold just kept tumbling at new lows, and we kept getting that dollar pushing new highs. So normally I would look at this and say, yeah, a little bit overtrading here, because typically anything over 10 to 12 trades, you know, it's probably going to be a little overtrading. But at the same time, guys, these markets kept moving, and we kept simply taking pattern after pattern after pattern. Now look at here, guys, end of the morning, right? Two-step into a wave, into a breaker, into a wave, into a breaker. We had this breaker wave combo nailed this morning. All right, guys? 17 trades, little bit too many. I don't like to do too many trades because, of course, the more trades we take, usually the less money we make. Usually it's a negative correlation. Today, of course, though, much different. Trending market, dollar pushing highs. We kept selling short on gold. A little bit there on crude, but for the most part, though, again, we stuck right to gold today, made a bunch of money. Biggest day of the year, right? This has been the biggest day of the year. We smashed the second biggest day of the year, which was in October, and the third biggest day of the year was in November on the 10th. So we've had the three biggest days of the year in the last 60 trading days. Guys, I told you this. I told you, end of the year, this is when I want to be trading right now. This is my bread and butter. All right, now remember, okay, end of the first quarter, okay, fast forward now 3 months from now, we're going to be pulling out our hairs, right, waiting for the end of the year to come back. Okay, so there are good times of the year and there are bad times of the year. Okay, I use the example of the end of the first quarter. End of the first quarter, everybody's waiting to see what's going to come out for their news numbers, right? What their numbers look like in the first quarter. So the end of the first quarter is a pretty challenging time. Okay, but the end of the last quarter of the year, the end of the year, guys, this is the best time to be a trader. 364 in, over $3,600, guys. And remember, I'm only trading 4 contracts. Okay, that was almost a 100% return. Okay, it's going to cost me about $4,000 to trade this. I made almost 4,000 bucks today alone. That brings our total weekly here 6,100. Monthly total 25,000, guys. We're shooting for that 34,000. 34,000 last month was the monthly record. We've only got 10,000 bucks to go. Another 2 or 3 days of this, guys, and we're going to be cleaning up before Thanksgiving holiday. So we had a record-breaking month last month in October. I'm trying to knock that record out right now. And of course, 364 ticks, sure as heck, right? It definitely helped. Over 209,000 for the year, guys. Wonderful day in the room, wonderful day in the room. But what happened today, right? What actually happened? Well, of course, the dollar this morning, we'll take a look at this in a second. The dollar this morning got out to a rough start. We had sideways chop, low ATR, low speed. But then, guys, another example, and Chuck, one of our members, Chuck, has really mastered this technique. All right? He sleeps in a little bit. Okay? I'm joking with you, Chuck, obviously. I'm joking with you a little bit. Okay? He comes in a little bit late, waits patiently for the dollar to break. And that is basically all he does each morning is just he comes in, waits for that dollar to break the highs or break the lows, and when that happens, right, that's when the whole party busts loose. So this morning, great example, if you waited a little bit until about 10 o'clock, you then had that dollar pushing new highs, and that was just the easiest trading of the week, I think, so far. Every trade was winning over and over and over again. Right, so a little bit of a tip there from our good friend Chuck. And again, Chuck, thanks for sharing that with me as well this morning as well. All right, so what we saw today was, once again, we saw 8 to 9 o'clock, nice strong price action. Then from about 9 o'clock till 10:30, it was pretty poor. It was almost like people were waiting to figure out at the end of the morning what the news event said, right? What people were talking about. We also had some news about the Ireland, the bailout, right? How some countries don't want to participate in the bailout for Ireland right now. So there was some news chatter coming in late in the morning, but the dollar really began to jump after 10:30. So again, this has been consistent. We've seen this. From 8 to 9, we have some great moves. But then it's almost like from 9:15 till about 10:25, right? 10:30, depending on if there's news at 10 o'clock, which there was today, or if there's news at 10:30. That tends to be the end of the dead zone, 10 o'clock or 10:30, and then it's off the races, end of the morning. All right, guys? What happened was we saw the dollar begin to jump at 10:30, and boy, the dollar kept pushing new high after new high after new high all the way into noontime, Eastern time this morning. Okay, and we all know when that dollar pushes new highs, I want to be selling everything. So we sold crude, right? We sold euro, we sold gold, we sold the Russell. We did take one trade, though, on the euro, guys, this morning. That was a buying of the lows. But for the most part, though, the euro and the Russell were all shorts as well. And, of course, once we total it all up at the end of the morning, it was the biggest day of the year. All right? End of the year, guys, is definitely not letting us down. Biggest day of the year by a long shot. Right? Another 60 ticks bigger than we had this time last week. All right? So great day, but we had to wait for it. And, again, thanks to our dollar index, we know exactly what to wait for. Now, here's my dollar. Now, this is what we saw this morning. Okay, here's my dollar looked like this morning. We had this sideways, choppy range on my dollar. Now, notice we drew some trend lines here. And these trend lines mean we expect the dollar to keep rising. Okay, dollar keeps rising. We push the high of day here. We break new highs in the dollar. That's when things started to tumble on the gold, the crude, the euro, and the Russell. So we have the dollar going sideways. Right? Sideways dollar. What else do we see here? Notice the difference though, right? Look at the ranges. There's Friday. There's Monday. And then here's today, right? Very narrow range. So a narrow range in the dollar also tells us got to be careful. We have a sideways range, a narrow range, but the one key component here is you can see we are trying to trend up here, right? Lots of support. So when the dollar broke new highs, we were waiting for it. And we're looking for the drop on the gold, the crude, right, and everything else we trade. The key component, again, was waiting for that dollar to break highs or break lows. All right, let's see what happened here. Now, here's my crude, first of all. Here's my crude. Now, looking at this crude chart, what do you see here? Well, we can see the crude here has these downward sloping trend lines. But we also can see here we have this trend line here as support. So there's my wedge, right? There's my wedge. Now, what do we see here? We're not at the highs. I'm not at the lows. I'm a little bit tucked in on the middle here of that wedge.